Okay, in the last video, we looked at using a little bit of geometry and some conic sections to solve our problem so that we ended up with a final sketch where our original, the first circle was controlled by 2 points in a very natural way, and the second circle was controlled by its center, which seems a little bit more natural than having a slider control it. And we ended up using the conic section method to actually find the third one rather than the algebraic method that we had used for the original problem. So in this video, I'm going to show you how to make some custom tools, because we could use the method of the last problem. Since we found the third circle between the other two, there's nothing stopping us from now finding a circle between that third and either of the other two and continuing to find circles. But to do that, we'd have to sort of repeat processes over and over again. And that's where custom tools come in handy, and in other places as well. So first thing I'm going to start out with is I'm going to construct a line and make a point. And from there, I'm going to create the circle that has C as a center and is tangent to this line. So we did something similar to this in a previous video. So we need to find a line through C that's perpendicular to our line, because this we're going to have a radius that's on there, and where this line crosses our other line is going to be the point of tangency. So from here, I can create my circle with center and point. Now, I'm going to create some tools that will create points, and then I'll have to go and do the circle in this way as we go through. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to create a tool that will take a line and a point and create the circle that's tangent to it. So if we go to Tools up here on the menu bar and create a new tool, it asks us for a couple things. For one, it asks us, what do we want to output? Well, I want to output that circle. So if I click on this list here, I want to output that circle through D with center C. Boom. Okay. Now it says, what do I want for an input? I could have A, B, and C. Well, I kind of want to use the line rather than having to click on the points. So I can go to this list and say I want the line through A and B, which means I can get rid of A and B. So I want that point C and this line. And next, and I'm going to give it a name. I'm going to call it tangent circle. And finish. So my tool has been successfully created, which means that if I have a point and a line, if I go up to my toolbar here, tangent circle, I can click on it, and notice it says, when I hover over it, it says point line, which means that if I've got that, if all I need as an input is a point and a line, and it'll give me the circle that has that point as the center and is tangent to that line. All right, so that was one thing I needed. So I'm going to get rid of all this stuff. My tool's still there. Second thing we needed was that parabola. And again, I had a point and a line, and I wanted the parabola that has this point as the focus, but has as a directrix the line that goes through the image of C when it's reflected in here. In other words, we actually want this this line F to be tangent to the parabola. So, like we did in the last video, I'm going to reflect this point about this line. I'm going to construct a parallel line that goes through the image and is parallel to our original line. And I'm going to construct a parabola that has the original point as the focus and that new line as the directrix. And again, we're going to go and make a custom tool. So I want to spit out the parabola. I'm going to start with, again, I don't want to have to click on the points that define the line. I'd rather just click on the line, so the line through A, B. So I can get rid of A and B. And the point C, that's all I want. I'm going to call this parabola. And again, my tool has been successfully created. So let's move on to then, again, I could wipe all this stuff out if I wanted. My next step, I could just keep going here, but I want to show how to make these tools from scratch and show how they still exist after I delete stuff. So I want to start with my point, create a parabola that has that uses those two. I want to create a point on this object, and I create a point on the parabola. And those are going to be my two circles. So if I come here, I can go to tangent circle now. And I want the circle through here with that as center and tangent to that. So those are tangent to each other by construction and by our new tools. So now a little bit different from what we did in the last video. Now the first circle is defined by its center, and we sort of have the tangent defined as well. And then the second circle is going to be tangent to the first circle and to the line. And again, that goes through like that. And now I want to make a tool that will give us the next circle. So let's go back to our tools and get the parabola. I'm going to go using that, and that gives us our new point. I want to find the intersection, and I'll do a tangent circle for that. Okay. So now what I want to do is I want to create a new tool. I want to spit out this new circle H and its center. So I want to spit out that tangent circle H, and I also want to spit out its center E. What points do I need? Well, I need A, B, and C again for that, but I'm going to start with the line. I'm going to get rid of A and B. And I'm also going to need this D. So I'll put in point D. So I'm going to have the 2 points that'll be the centers of the circle, which will define the 2 parabolas and our line, and away we go. And this is going to be our new circle. Okay, so again, if I get rid of everything, I can show you how this will work. If I start with a point, line. I can use the parabola to create the new circle. And now, if I do my tangent circles for this guy and this guy, I can hide my parabola, and I can go to my custom tools and do the new circle, and I'm going to do, notice it says point, line, point, so point, line, point, and there's my new circle. And the nice thing is now I can continue and go point, line, point, and I'll get a new one. I can go point, line, point, and it'll do a new one, and we could sort of continue that process as far as I want to go. And again, this is all going to be controllable. A is the center of that first circle on the left, and it's controllable. D is the circle on the right, and that's controllable. And these other ones depend on them, and away they go. Now, an interesting thing happens if I move D closer and closer and closer to A. Watch what happens. So I go through to that side. Notice that the circles now sort of stayed on the same side of D that they were originally, which means that when I get over here, they're not between the circles. They actually went to the other side and they kind of wrap around, which is kind of neat, but it might not be what we want. Now, the reason for that is when we created this, the circle in the middle, okay, was the intersection of our two parabolas. But if you think about it, two parabolas can intersect at 2 points. So when I was creating the original, like starting with our two circles, if I think of this circle here, let's just color them. Okay, so the red circle, when I created that by intersecting these two parabolas, the two parabolas, again, the parabola that I created using A and the line would go through D because it gives us all of the locus of points that would be the center of a circle that's going to be tangent to this and tangent to the line. Same thing with the other one. So if I think of that, then when I look at these two parabolas, where they cross is going to be a circle that's going to be tangent to the line as well as to the two circles. But there's nothing saying that if I, set up a situation like this where the second circle is smaller, I could actually have a circle that's tangent to these two circles and to the line, but isn't in between them because it's out here. Like it comes down like this and is tangent like this. In the next video, I'll look at getting a little bit more into the nitty-gritty and how do we deal with this case, if that's important to you. Like in this case, if you're just happy to have that so that all these circles are tangent to each other and do all kinds of neat stuff, then that's fine. But if you actually want it so that if I went around like this, the configuration would be the same. All the circles were between these two circles. That's what we'll look at in the next video.